When you're starting out, anything, the fastest shortcut is not motivation, it's books. Books, 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 books. I'm telling you, books are your shortcut. Trust me, you have to become the person who learns the fastest because your confidence, your strategy, your relationships, your money, they improve as your inputs improve. The way I see it, the way I see life, the way I see business, it's a jungle. It's a jungle, and you're trying to get north. You're trying to get to north. You've got a map and you've got a machete. Slicing through the jungle with your map. The machete is you, is your skills, is your expertise, is your knowledge, is your discipline, is your work rate, is your... The sharper your sword, the faster you can cut through the jungle. And with every hit, you are very accurate with your swings going through this jungle. Your map is a rough idea. Because if it's a map, then you'll know exactly where to go, but it's just a rough idea. You're constantly changing your map based on what you see. And the map you have that you're going off of is your paradigm, is your beliefs, is your way of seeing the world. That's how I see it. And both can be improved. Your knife can be sharpened, your machete can be sharpened, as well as your map can be refined. But that starts with you. And before you go swing-a-dinging and everything, yes, you can swing-a-ding and you will make mistakes, you know, because in a jungle, there's trenches and there's jaguars and there's anacondas. There's all these enemies and obstacles in your way. Let me pause this timer. There's enemies and obstacles in your way, and you can avoid those as best as you can because you're going to end up in one of them. Depends how bad it is, right? But you have the power to determine how costly they are based on how good your map is, your paradigm, your beliefs, and how sharp your sword is, your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, right? And the best way to do both is books. And you don't even have to read them nowadays. You can just download the PDF, plug into ChatGPT and just pepper it with questions. But books, and I'll tell you why books are so important. I will share the 3 most influential books to me and an honorable mention. The first book is The Way of the Superior Man. And that's got nothing to do with business. It's got nothing to do with mindset. It's got nothing to do with that. The Way of the Superior Man was a book I chose to read because at the time I had girl issues. And people said that was the best book when it comes to relationships, when it comes to being a man. And when I read it, I was like, what? This was in a book. This was here the whole time. Had I read that book earlier, a lot of my relationships would have not blown up in spectacular fashion than they did when I was going through it, right? Everything was clear where I messed up. And I realized a lot of those accidents weren't bad luck or the other person. It was me, right? A lot of the stuff about polarity and being on your purpose and how to treat a woman and how to treat yourself, most importantly. And that made me realize, okay, wow, there's some serious knowledge in books. Books can really help me. The next book was How to Talk to Anyone. And that book was very different from The Ways of the Superior Man, because you see, The Way of the Superior Man was about principles, about fundamentals. How to Talk to Anyone was actionable, tactical steps. And I implemented not every single one, but most of them. I literally, every book I highlight, I annotate in the beginning. Now I just underline and highlight. I should really be annotating. Not everyone's perfect, but that book actually showed, okay, wow, and people were noticing. People were noticing these little tricks. They say, wow, you're so confident. Oh, wow, you can just talk to anyone easily. Oh, wow, you just find it so easy for you. I had to learn it. That's what you don't understand. A lot of the things all the information in the world was in books. That was the only way to pass down information. It's not as easy now. You've got the internet and you've got podcasts and you've got YouTube. But before, it was books. And books are still being made, you know? And people go into such detail in books because they're trying to convince you. So yes, you can get information online, right? You can just get the tool they're trying to teach. But in a book, they give you examples, they break it down, they have room to explain it to you so you can grasp. And How to Talk to Anyone really helped me. And to this day, I use those in terms of posture, how I speak, eye contact. I'm a big fan of eye contact. And The Way of the Superior Man did that for me. How to Talk to Anyone did that for me. The third book was Diary of a CEO, The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. And I haven't finished that book, but it was the first physical book I got. And it was the first rules that stuck with me. And it had something to do with beliefs. When we're younger, I think by the age of 5, our beliefs on the world, our map that we use to navigate the jungle has been made, been published to us. And whenever we get introduced to new information, subconsciously, we defend our beliefs and dismiss the information. And to change yourself, you need to change your beliefs and how you think. But you can't do that if you're constantly dismissing information. Your paradigm isn't right, most likely isn't right. Otherwise, you wouldn't be where you are. Unless you are happy where you are, then your paradigm's amazing. But if you're not, then it's likely because the way you see the world isn't the way the world actually is. So when you get exposed to new information, it's important to see where the information's coming from, what right the person has to say that information, and whether or not it would help you if the information is right. You know, even when I look at a book, the most important thing to me, of course, the content, but the author, who's saying the book, and why he's made the book. Is it to pass down knowledge or is it to sell something? Because a lot of books nowadays, they're to sell something. They're like a lead magnet. But when you find genuine books that were made to pass down information, they're gold. Like Get Things Done, Atomic Habits, Diary of a CEO, Way of the Superior Man, How to Talk to Anyone. They're made to pass down information. 2 books I'm currently reading now are Influence and Getting Things Done. I think, oh, look at this. Got it with me. Getting Things Done. And I've just started it. Can't wait to see how it goes. I think I have the audio book, but I really want the physical copy so I can highlight and draw all over it. But trust me, books help. And you don't have to finish books all in one go. Pace yourself. My thing right now, 10 pages a day of 2 different books. That's what I'm reading 2 currently. I read one in the early part of the day, one before I sleep. So, if you want a list of books I recommend you should read this year, depending on where you are, because I feel like books tend to differ from where you are. I always say start with the psychology books. It all starts from here. And I know a lot of you say, no, it starts with money. I've got no money. How come my mindset changed? It literally starts with here. Starts with you. Then you can read books on your subject area, but you need the foundations first. Right? It's my builder's notes. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next week.